Recording in progress.
Good? Okay. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll start with a roll call. McKee here, Schultz here, Barenkamp
Here.
Nichols
Here.
and Councilor Bodema is absent today on out of the country. If you'd like to stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, agenda approval. Is there anything from staff? I saw there was several revised items, some minor updates. Anything else?
Yes, Mayor. So to be specific, item 7D was revised in order to adjust appointments to include finance manager at point number 5, and then adding for financial services another institution that wasn't listed, RPMA Financial Services, and then yourself, myself, and Kathy Hughes is authorized transferring inquiries. That's for item 7D. Item 7I, the good news is that staff was able to get additional discount for the patch trailer that we had, and so that now reflects the additional 15% discount that staff was able to achieve for that order for the patch trailer. Item 7J is revised. There was some erroneous financial data that was included in the staff report, and then we also added an example from Minnetonka Beach of their response. Item 9A, we were able to share the information from the draft of the 2022 audit. And then item 10B, we added the ordinances and the resolution from 2016 and 2018 respectively for how the city has established desired use for gambling, charitable gambling funds that we receive. And then we also added the charitable gambling codes in order to talk about the different ways that charitable gambling could be used, as that was a question. And then item 10C, for the year in review, we added broadband. That was a pretty big event that was missed, and we wanted to make sure that we didn't miss that. Those are the only changes from staff.
Thank you. Anything from council? I was going to propose we move 10B up ahead of 9A, so just kind of after consent before unfinished, just because I believe we have some people that want to speak on 10B, and that way they wouldn't have to sit through the audit and all that. So I would make that suggestion, and then I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. A couple notes here. Okay, commission representatives, we have Corinne and Michelle from Parks and Planning, excuse me, all the way around, Planning and Parks respectively. And then we have open forum, and Jay, if you want to walk us through that.
Do we have anyone this evening who would like to come up to speak on something that is not on the agenda? Anyone in attendance this evening that would like to speak on something not on the agenda?
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
Administrator Tobin, if I could speak on behalf of the public, if you want me to go down there, I will. But if you're okay, I'll stay here. I copied you guys on an email. I confirmed that citizens are getting charged the organic recycling rate from one garbage carrier and not the other, and we shouldn't be charged. I thought the information was related to less than 10,000 people. We had to have a centralized organic collection place, and the understanding is from the one carrier everybody's been charged. So I don't know if the rest of the council has received those emails, but I'm receiving a number of them. And then another carrier is not charging because we do not do that. Is there something we or administration can do?
Kathy?
Kathy Hughes, Administrative Services Director.
I have reached out to the handler to see if
Okay.
that's the case, and we will try to have discussions with them, figure this out, and we'll get back to everybody.
Maybe we could have an update at an upcoming council meeting.
Yep, and that's fine. I don't know if everybody's listening to ping me, but I did forward it on to everybody else, but I'm one of their customers and I really don't wanna pay $22.50 plus surcharges, taxes and everything on it every 3 months. So
Yeah.
about $30 every 3 months, but we should have never gotten charged. So thank you very much for the answer quickly. Thanks.
Can I ask who the carrier was?
Republic.
Republic is the one charging it. So,
Pay my bill.
Anyone else from the public that wanted to speak today? Nope. Okay, then we'll move on. We don't have any presentations today, so we'll move on to consent agenda, which consists of items 7A through 7J. Does anyone want to pull anything?
7D, please.
7D. Anything else? No? Okay, then I will entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items A through C and E through J.
So moved.
second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 7D, Alan?
I just had to pull it because of a conflict with my employer, so
Okay.
I'll abstain from that.
Oh, okay, I see. Gotcha. Is there any other discussion on item 7D, which is the annual appointments? I did speak with Ken about the watershed, and he's, I know he's moving later this year, but he's happy to continue serving in that capacity, fortunately for us, because there's going to be some big shoes to fill at some date. Until that time that he moves. So we're fortunate there, and I think everything else is pretty straightforward. So if there's no questions on that, I will entertain a motion to approve consent agenda item 7D.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So 3-0-1. Thank you. Okay. On to item that was initially item 10B, which was moved up just ahead of unfinished business. So we'll have a public comment opportunity for it, and the item is the North Pioneer Society request for assistance for the Birchville School, one-room schoolhouse.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So we have Bonnie Maui is with us tonight, so if we have any questions after I present my staff report, she can address the council with any questions. But basically, they are looking for assistance with another repair project on the Birchville School. I tried to recap the best that I could on gambling funds and what that encompasses. We did have a request in 2016, and I wanted to make one correction. That wasn't actually for re-roofing. That was for repairs on the outside of the building and also repainting the building from red to white. So Bonnie is here. She can explain what the actual item is that she needs the funding for. But again, we did approve something back in 2016 that did come from gambling funds for the Birchville School.
That might have even been before they qualified under this statute. That might have, it certainly would have been allowed, but now I think there's even more specific statutory authority to do so.
There is, and there's actually another statute that was just initiated last year in 2023, and it does allow a governing body to fund a historical building in your city if it is approved through the Historical Society of Minnesota. And there's a percentage that you can only allocate towards that, but that is an option for council to review as well.
Okay,
For 2025, not for this current year.
gotcha. Thank you. And did anyone want to speak?
Hi, I'm Bonnie Maui from the Northampton Pioneer Society, the Birchville School. We became a historic site in 2018, so we are now a national site, and we are with the Minnesota Historical Society. And they've been around since 1960, between 67 and 68. The school closed in 67, so it's been owned and operated by the society since then. And they've struggled along getting money wherever they could, fixing things when they could, and we're still doing that. So we have a few fundraisers, but we are in charge of it. It's not owned by the city or anybody else, it's just owned by this little organization. And so we have some projects that have come up, and the foundation needed some work. I was starting to have littles on River Rock, so we needed to do some bracing in the foundation to make sure that now we have a steel beam going underneath it. And my husband and another gentleman ripped up the flooring so we could get in there, put down new subfloor, put down the jacks and fix that all up, put the flooring back down again, and now we're gonna sand it and get it ready for when the kids come in May. So we try and find the money where we can to work on it and keep it in shape so that we can keep bringing the kids back. And it's a joy when they do, to have those little kids come running to the school when you ring the school bell. It's just crazy. It's fun to see them outside running around. And the St. John's School, I think it's written in your notes there, they've been coming for probably 25 years to the school, bringing second graders and dressing up in old clothing from that time period, and seeing what it was like to go to school there at that time. So it's something that is precious to the area. It's still there. It was tried to take it away in '86, and they got a I think it was Danny Lang got a petition out not to move the school, to keep it here where it is. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in the Minnesota Historical Society as a register, because it's never been moved, and it's still where it was when it was built in 1894. So we just keep plugging along and trying to fix it, and this is another thing we have to work on. And the roof's next. We have to keep that up to code with cedar shakes. We can't put down a regular old, asbestos roofing on. So there's things we have to do to keep it within the guidelines of the Historical Society as well. So that's my pitch. We need some help because construction costs and everything up keep climbing, and materials, as you know. So do you have any questions?
Any questions for Bonnie or for staff?
Just if I can, thank you. My son went to St. John when he was young and had the opportunity to be there. It was, I think, the second year you guys did it.
Wow.
It's great. Your event in August is well attended, and a lot of people speak highly
It's a
of
really
it.
fun event.
Your efforts to keep it are wonderful. Thank you
It's
so
just-
much, and it's something, as you and I talked, another historian in the local area was a good friend, and her efforts did a lot of things for a few different communities around here. So thank you for taking it and running with it after her.
Well, we've got a lot of nice, good members that keep
Yeah.
coming too.
If I can ask a question, if it's
Sure.
beyond what you can answer, what is your budget a year? If
Well,
that's
close
a
to-
appropriate answer or question,
We have no water, we have no heat, so we have electricity. And
Okay.
it's about $14 a month. We do we have someone that mows for
Mowing.
us. So
and
I
now
would say
maintenance,
it's about 3,000 maybe.
Okay.
I guess the biggest cost is insurance.
okay, yeah,
And it's not insurance that we're gonna rebuild if something should happen. It's insurance just to take care of it
yep,
if there was a catastrophe and if it's gone, the society's gone.
yeah.
You can't rebuild a school that was 150 years old, so. But it's basically, the most expensive is insurance. So that's getting closer to like 2,000 a year, so I guess I would up it up to maybe 5,000 a year is what our expenses are. So we just make it by having our summer fest.
And then the
Yeah,
roof
sure.
costs, you were talking, did we have that number in our packet?
Yeah.
The roof cost or the,
The cost to do the roof you're talking about's coming up.
Coming up, yeah.
Cost of the floor and the finishing and stuff. I'm trying to find it
the
quickly.
ask was 15,000?
Okay.
Yeah, we were asking for 15.
Item 10B3.
Yep,
15 for right now. because we were able to, we had a large donation from a member,
Okay,
and so we were able to cover the huge expense, but we still have to cover the remaining, because of course, once they did a quote, then they came back and another one's like, oh, another 8,000, sure.
okay.
But, so that's what we're asking for this time, is 15.
Thank you for what you do, very much.
Thank you.
That's all I've got.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other questions for staff, or does someone want to take a crack at a motion or any discussion
I feel like
on this?
it's a worthwhile thing to do at a modest cost. I feel like this is modest. There's definitely value to the community in preserving our history and having that available for people to come and see. It caused me to ask, we haven't talked a lot about how we use charitable gambling funds in general. That might be something we want to explore in future for other things that we have talked about having funding gaps for, like plowing trails in winter. Seems like it might be coverable with this kind of funding source. I don't think that gets in the way of approving this, but it might be something for us to discuss at a future meeting, whether we want to create some kind of a policy for the kinds of projects we anticipate using these gambling funds for.
Yeah, it's a good idea. And to my knowledge, I don't think we have any time recently discussed that, so in detail. So I think we should do that. But I agree, it doesn't preclude us from acting here. I also think it's a very good use. And honestly, if you've never been out there for Summerfest or out to check out the school, it's really cool. It is a piece of history, and I think funding source matches up well with, it's clearly an eligible use, and I think we can help them keep it going and keep a piece of Corcoran history alive, and I think that'd be a great thing. So I'll make a motion. I'm sorry, yeah. Go
What
ahead.
have we used gambling funds for in the past? Do you have any examples?
The last example that I show was in 2016. That's the
For
last
this?
report, because we would
Yes.
have to have it presented to council and have you approve it.
Okay.
And that was for the school as well.
That was for the school.
In 2016.
So the packet showed we're accumulating between 30 and 40,000 a year in that fund. We don't have a policy that allows us to consider uses for it as they come up. So that, I think, is the gap. If we've got revenue coming,
I do want to, Councilmember,
Please.
point out that we added to the packet the ordinance that was established in 2016, and then it was amended in 2018. When I spoke with you, we did not have that at that time. When I spoke with you earlier, when staff got together, we were able to identify that. And that clarifies at that time what the intended use was for those gambling funds. And we also have the opportunity to review that in the future at a work session to ensure that that aligns with where the council wants to go today.
wonderful.
Great.
And I do stand corrected because there was one other purchase. We used it for the table and chairs for community events. That was the last time we used the gambling funds.
Gotcha.
Do you have another question?
I was just looking at the eligibility based on what Jeremy was saying.
Okay.
So, an applicant organization must be religious, fraternal, veterans, or other nonprofit organization that conducts, well, I don't know, never mind.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Good deal.
I'm trying to find the page with the motion.
I can put one together.
Okay,
I will entertain a motion, or I'll make a motion to direct staff to, sorry, my father is calling me, to draft documents necessary to commit the funds in the amount of the $15,000 request towards North Hennepin Pioneer Society and bring that back to us at the next meeting.
Second.
In the amount of $15,000.
$15,000, yeah. Do you have a second?
he did.
Second.
Second?
Before
Any
me.
further discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you again, very much.
And like I said, it's a really cool place to check out if you haven't been.
I'd like to make a comment. I and Denny go to St. John's Church and school, and so every once in a while I will talk to the teacher that takes the second graders. And I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but all the girls dress up in dresses or skirts, whatever, and the boys all have suspenders. And they go there, like Bonnie said, they sit down at all the desks and they have recess. The kids go outside and play tag. They play any over. They just absolutely love it out there. And the teacher said that he doesn't, as long as he's teaching at St. John's, he will never stop, taking the second graders out there to do that. So there again, that's very important that the younger generation, knows what like that, or what that school is like. So I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have Wi-Fi there? Just joking.
I don't think so.
Broadband?
Broadband should be, yeah, you can pull it from the street.
Just had to say it, sorry.
Okay. And we are on to unfinished business. We'll have a public comment opportunity for item 9A, which is the 2022 audit. And Jay, I'll turn that over to you.
So Mayor and Council, you received materials and we had them. We've been working on the 2022 audit for a while, and there's a couple reasons why it's taken some challenging time. We've had a lot of change over personnel with city administrator, finance manager, and as a result, it's been delayed. But the great news is we have it, and we got some good, solid information that allows us to know what our next steps are. So the audit results made us aware of what they call 3 material weaknesses. And the good news about all 3 of these areas is we recognize those and we are already working to resolve those. So we expect that as we move into our 2023 audit, we should have a clean audit opinion with no weaknesses. But to make you aware, those 3 weaknesses were material year-end audit adjustments. What does that mean? That means when they were doing the adjustments for journal entries, we could have our auditors do that as part of the scope of their work. It wasn't in their typical scope of the work and the way that we had them do this audit. So having to do that was something that wasn't expected in their workload, and that's why it was identified as a material weakness. As we go forward for the 2023 audit, we'll have those journal entries completed so that that won't be a problem. The escrow tracking and reconciliation, we have relooked our processes, and it's a weakness because it's a very complicated process. And we're looking to simplify that process to ensure that we have timely information that is as accurate as possible. There is no concerns about anything inappropriate happening with that. We just need to make sure that we can provide timely information in a much easier fashion. And our present process didn't do that, and that's why it was found as a weakness. And so we're in the process of improving that. And then the last thing was timely bank reconciliations. This really is attributed to a change in our system when we went to BSNA and getting up to that, putting good processes in place to do those timely bank reconciliations, and then with the changeover of personnel, that got behind. The great thing is we're closing the gap on it, and as we are already into 2023, we're already up, in 2024, we're already up on our 2024 reconciliations. We'll be up on our 2023 reconciliations before the audit begins, so that won't be a weakness for our 2023 audit. So all 3 areas that were identified, we knew, and we're glad that they helped us identify them, and we're solving them, so it won't be a problem in 2023. The implication is this is in draft form right now, but tomorrow is the date that we have to provide input to Moody's for our annual rating. And so I'm asking you this evening to approve the draft as it is right now. They recognize that the final form will come before this body on the 25th of January. And then when it comes on the 25th, we'll send them the final form. But so we're kind of giving them a read ahead tomorrow to make sure that they're comfortable that, yep, you've got the information, it's coming forward, and then we'll send them the final on the 25th. So what staff is asking for is any feedback that you have, any concerns you might have about this particular audit, and then approval of the draft audit in order to send to Moody's actually immediately right after this evening tonight.
Sounds good. Any questions for Jay? Nope. I think you explained it very well. I think we all have a pretty good understanding of it, and good game plan, like you said, for the future years to not have any of the material weaknesses. So that's great. Did you have something you wanted to add?
I was just going to say Abdul will be here on the 25th, and they'll
Okay.
be able to answer any detailed questions that you might have about the audit. So the nice thing about the draft materials is you've got some time to look at it. It's not going to change significantly. We have a few minor tweaks, but it's not going to change the base documents. So any questions that you have for them, they'll be able to answer in person when they're here on the 25th.
Very good.
I will entertain a
If-
motion.
It won't change to the point where I gotta read it all again, will it?
It will not, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Not front to back, for sure.
I'm tired to read. Good job, though.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the draft of the 2022 audit and submit to Moody's by tomorrow, January 12th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Then on to new business. We have a public comment opportunity for items 10A. We already did 10B. So 10A, 10C, and 10D, which is City Park Ice Rink direction. I have the pages in the right order, that'd be helpful. The 2023 year in review and the 2024 core strategies, goals, and measurables. So if there's anyone from the audience that would like to speak on those, feel free to come on up. Otherwise, if not, we'll move into item 10A, which is City Park Ice Rink direction.
So, Mayor and Council, the staff summary, when this was written, the weather was different. Welcome to Minnesota. So, we were having questions about whether or not, and we wanted to get some guidance from this body on whether or not we should flood. This time last week, we were in the 30s, and the weather wasn't projected to change, and then it changed. And when we've had projections to change, like even last week, it was 19 degrees in the morning, and then it was 37 degrees in the afternoon. Not ideal weather to make good hockey rinks and skating rinks. Nonetheless, per our typical policy, we've kind of moved forward to try and flooding. We're moving forward optimistically that the community will be able to use those spaces, particularly as we see in the next few days with, if you've seen the weather warnings that are coming in, we're going to have great temperatures to make good ice. Staff has been on that to start flooding. The question that wasn't part of this that I would ask of you is, with the colder temperatures that we have, it would be beneficial to be able to utilize the warming house. The problem that we have is we don't have sufficient staff to staff the warming house. And so the proposal that staff makes is to consider locking the bathrooms in the other spaces, to put a portable bathroom there, and to open up the warming house so that the community can use it, and we'll open it and lock it. We acknowledge that we'd be accepting a little bit of risk for the space, and we have some strategies on how we mitigate that risk. But I think the benefit would be if it is in fact 8 below with wind chill or 13 below, some people might want to skate, but they're not going to want to sit outside for a long time. They're going to have to come in and warm up for a period. And so this would allow us to activate the space and also take care of the people that are trying to use the space. So that's the proposal that we ask you to consider, opening up the warming house this season towards set hours in which staff will open it and lock it. And we've got some strategies to monitor it. And this will be similar, as it's been reported to me, for how we operated under COVID.
That would be option 10B. Sorry, 1B.
We're already creating it.
The only difference modification for operation 1B is actually to open up the warming house.
Okay.
So,
It's kind of its own thing.
We'll call that option D.
option D.
Or option J. As in J-A-Y.
Lights, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. Lights are on automatically and
Timers.
off automatically.
Correct, sir.
Go on when and off when.
I don't know those times, but I can get those to you.
It's okay,
Yeah,
just
determined
so.
Yeah.
I think the first time out, the timer didn't work. The lights were on most of the night, so
Yeah, we'll ensure that they go off when they're supposed to go off.
perfect.
Do we have a set closing date? historically? Or is that dependent on weather?
Weather
Probably a
dependent.
JCB question,
Oh,
she might have
weather,
an
I think
idea
it's-
of that.
Usually that, I think it's President's Day-ish. I think I heard her say that late, the third weekend in February
Okay.
is kind of the average. It's all weather.
So if the weather stays cold, we could extend it.
Yeah, it's weather driven where we lose it more than we gain it. We kind of
Right.
stop. So.
So for example, last year for the whole month of February, the temperatures didn't warm up above zero for the whole month of February. It was a great season for ice if you were dressed appropriately. It was also pretty frigid. So we actually had open rinks in the community I was at well into March last year. But then we had, like 2019, we had swimming pools. Because it would freeze and then it would warm up into the 40s and then it would freeze. Not great ice weather.
Yeah.
One more question.
Go for it.
Does the Public Works team have everything they need to stay safe themselves? And okay.
Yep.
It's gonna
They
get,
appreciate the thought.
it's gonna get really chilly and really
Yeah.
cold and,
Sunday especially.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to direct staff to implement option D / option J
As presented.
as
by-
presented.
Yep.
Okay. Do I have a
Second.
Perfect. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Thank them, please, Public Works folks.
Definitely.
It's a big deal. We are known for our really good ice.
Even if it's just for a little bit, it'll be nice to have.
Exactly.
Okay,
Thank you.
2023, 10C is 2023 year in review. Jay.
So Mayor and Council, the staff accomplished a lot of great things in 2023, and I absolutely can't accept credit for any of them. I wasn't here. You have a great staff that accomplished a lot, which has been outlined. What I am asking council to consider, and it is not listed in the council action, I've talked with some of you about this, is consider a different format so that we can ensure you have an opportunity to hear not only about these great things from each of the divisions and the departments, but also an opportunity to ask some more detailed questions. Just, like Councilmember Behrenkamp just asked, do they have all the things that they need? To bring each of the reporting bodies for the year in review before you over the next couple quarters for a brief 30-minute presentation to talk about what they do, how they do, what they need. It happens in the course of our action, but we don't always get the opportunity to bring some of the people who deliver these things before you and give them an opportunity to interact with you and to give the public an opportunity to see who it is that's behind the scenes making the sausage, so to speak. And so I think it's a good opportunity on multiple levels. It's also a good professional development opportunity for our staff to come before this body. And so I would ask you to consider that as a possibility over the next couple quarters to come forward with department / division presentations.
Yeah, I love that. I think a great idea. Any other thoughts on that aspect of it?
Formal wear required.
What's that?
Formal wear required. Ties, everything.
Tuxedo t-shirts.
Tuxedo, whatever. No, just kidding.
But yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. And other than that, there's a lot in there. I would definitely recommend reading them if you want to see all the stuff that went on in 2023. It was a lot.
I think I said this
Yeah.
too. If they could adapt more pictures for those of us that don't enjoy reading as much, a lot of pictures would be nice to see too, so, in those presentations.
Understood.
Celebrations, everything. We do a good job, we don't do a good job presenting and stuff like that. It sounds like it's something everybody wants to do. Don't make anybody do it if they don't want to. Good.
Understood.
Yeah, I think to answer your thing, we'd love that quarterly, different department. Do you need a motion on that at all? Or?
No, staff can take direction.
Perfect.
We'll make that happen.
We're good there. Awesome. Thank you very much. And then on to 10D, which is the 2024 core strategies, goals, and measurables follow-up.
So, Mayor and Council, I've done my best to take the direction that you gave during our work session on the 3rd and to encapsulate that within our strategic objectives, short-term goals, and measurables. I also acknowledge that I may not have captured your clear intent, and so I wanted this opportunity to see if you wanted to add anything, modify anything, so that we as staff have clarity in what it is you desire us to achieve.
Anything standing out from council? I think last I had looked, it seemed to be pretty much what we had discussed at our meeting.
Yeah, I think
And nothing standing out to me.
If I could, one thing as we were talking about it with staff that we saw as a good also professional development opportunity, and Councilmember Bottom is not here, but with the intentional future planning for fire, rescue, and first responder services, we saw it as a good opportunity to pair our deputy public services person with him so that they could also be part of this process. Because our director was part of the process before. So staff development-wise, I think their perspective would be helpful, as they're also going to be the ones who are going to be helping implement with this. And so pairing Councilmember Bottoма up with Ryan, I think, would be beneficial for staff if council was open to that.
Sounds good.
it'd be a good oversight on John, too.
I mean, it's helpful for both, I think, yeah. A good resource and.
Speaking of
Always
which,
good to have someone
welcome
watching.
back, Ryan.
What's that?
I haven't seen him, but welcome back to Ryan.
Yeah, big time.
He
Big
is
big
back.
welcome back.
I think. At least
Yes,
part-time, yeah.
he's been back for a week.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, definitely good to hear. Okay, well then, let's see here, did we, I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2024 core strategy, short-term goals and measurables as presented with the amendment or addition added by Jay there.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Alrighty, we have a couple staff reports. Is there anything you wanted to touch on with those staff reports, Jay, or just have them in the packet?
Nope, I think nothing else to add.
Okay. City council schedule is also a lot coming up, and that will change as we get closer to some of these, but I feel like there'll be a couple longer meetings at some point coming up. Dean?
The only work session I'm seeing is February 8th. In the short term is what I'm looking for.
Believe
For
that is
some
our next
reason, I
work
thought we
session.
were
Then
gonna
have
do
one
more
in
than that.
March. We were gonna have one in January, but that ended up being the goal setting that we already did.
Yep. Okay,
Um,
that might be my confusion.
yeah, I
So
think I
just
did
the
the
one in February. Okay,
Yep, and then we have one in March.
Yep.
As of right now,
and that's fine.
as far out as we are.
I won't be here for the 25th meeting,
January 25th?
so in case you have something that needs a
Good.
I
to
won't
know.
either.
Appreciate it.
supermajority.
You want either?
Correct.
Okay.
We're down to 3 then, maybe? Okay.
Parks and Trails.
We need anything,
I don't think there should be anything that's 4/5 that stands out, if I can find the actual schedule.
I don't see it either.
Doesn't look like it.
Where are you
No.
going?
Audit, will that require supermajority of any sort?
Hawaii.
Accept it? Probably not.
I will have to get back to you on that.
You going out?
Sounds good.
I actually think it might.
Okay. Then we might need to figure that out.
Which one?
The audit.
The question was if the audit, which will be presented on the 25th, needed a supermajority to pass. I'll have to double check on that.
No.
And if it does, I'll just arrange with the auditors to come at the February date.
Okay. Sounds good.
The Moody's was most concerned about us getting the information
To them in the draft.
to them for the
Yeah.
draft.
Yeah,
So
not much will change.
a delay isn't.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, but other than that, should be pretty straightforward. And, yeah, so if there's nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.